Hey Tommy, how are you?
Well, Andrew, how are you?
I'm doing good. Back today for another podcast, and it's probably the most exciting time of the year for me because I absolutely love fall aeration. I love restoring yards. I love bringing yards back to life, and I always say outside of doing the pre-emergence, fall aeration and overseeding is probably one of the most important things you can do. I know I do it to my yard once a year. You look at a golf course, they're probably doing it a couple times a year. I know golf courses will shut down play for 2 or 3 days while they aerate, and that just goes to show you how critical it is to do it every year. But as you know, we were talking on the side a couple days ago, and we were talking, why this year over any other year. And we bounced a few things back and forth, and I was like, that's a good idea. We need to get online and let people know if they haven't done aeration seeding before, why this year is a better year than last year or the year before that, or if you haven't done it at all or don't believe in it, why now? Tell us why, Tommy.
So you kind of you started off perfectly with that. I mean, yeah, you definitely it's the single best thing you can do for your yard. Um, we have clay-based soils where we live at, so those clay-based soils get beat down by foot traffic, whether it be from weather patterns, going from one extreme, from heat stress, from last season. Now we're into this season where we had ample amounts of rain in the springtime, into the early summer. Now we're getting sporadic, pop-up showers at nighttime. So it's one extreme from the other. It's from the heat, drumming up all the weed activity, everybody being on the yard, just a continuation of beating it down because of that. And then the onslaught of, again, there's weather patterns causes that soil to become compacted. And when the soil becomes compacted, it's basically suffocating the root system, is what it's doing. So when it's suffocating the root system out, what happens? You start to thin out the yard. It starts to thin out. It starts to needle up with the drought stress, which is now starting to happen. We are getting pop up showers, but it's not enough. And part of that is because of the aeration stuff that goes hand in hand. If you haven't aerated to this point, your soil's very compacted. The root system's getting choked out. The heat's beating down on it. The yard's thinning out because it's starting to stress out, and now all those weeds are populating into your yard. So this season, more than any, because of that stress, it's definitely a good idea. Aerate it, seed it, improve that airflow to the root system, improve that density over time with that aeration and overseeding. It's going to improve nutrient and water uptake. Just an all around good thing to do for your yard. And again, I'm a big fan of doing it every single year, but like you said, this season is going to be more important than ever because of just the dramatic swing we've had from last year to this year.
So last fall we had essentially a drought, and you looked at the U.S. weather map. There was a drought for probably 2/3 of the United States, and that really lasted through early winter. And then we had a pretty wet winter, and then we had a pretty wet spring. So the swings and weather patterns you just mentioned started almost 12 months ago,
Yeah.
and the turf just it got thin, it got weak, and then the conditions this spring, while to the average homeowner were favorable with all the rain, but ultimately that didn't give the turf an opportunity to recover what it experienced last fall and winter. So now we had two bangers: fall, winter, spring, really three. Didn't really allow our turf grass to recover at all. So that's why we're seeing more compaction, more thin grass, more opportunity for weeds, and it's just compounded for this perfect storm, perfect reason to aerate and overseed this year.
Yeah, and it goes hand in hand. I mean, with perfect conditions, you're probably still dealing with some stresses. If you have a customer that's got an irrigation system, it's like we always tell them, like if you water every single day, what's going to happen? Your root system's going to come up. It's more susceptible to having areas die out, thin back. And if your root system is real short and shallow, and soil is compacted, then you have even more room for losing areas of the turf cell. Again, going back to doing the aeration this season. I mean, I've been in it 21 years, and I can't remember a year where we had such a dramatic swing where it was so important to do that aeration.
Right. So, and that's at A&A, that's really what we're about, and we it's one service that we offer and we push to a lot of our customers. Whether your yard looks like it needs it or not, to the naked eye, it more than likely needs it. So it's kind of not a now or never type deal, but if you want to give your lawn the best opportunity to recover while the soil temperatures are cooling, aeration is probably the single best thing with overseeding you can do this year.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. So not only is it helping deviate that compaction, helping cut down on that thatch, you're also going to enhance that overseed once they go in, pull that core plug out. We're going to come through overseed afterward, which is going to introduce new cultivars of grass in, which is going to help it thicken back up. It's going to cut down on the weed activity going into next year. The cultivars of grass that we're introducing are a better cultivar of grass than what you would typically put down yourself, because we seek after those cultivars that are more tolerant to the disease activity. They're more tolerant to the heat stress and things like that. So it's more than just just aerating and throwing down random seeds. We've as you said, Andrew, we put in the time and energy to figure out what works, what's going to work best for our customers.
Right, and the cultivars is a big deal. It's not we're probably I know we're not using the same cultivars of the turf type tall fescue we used last year versus this year. There's always more research and development going on of what's going to be better of using different genetics of different types of fescues to where they are more drought resistant, more disease resistant, and the more times or the more opportunity you give your lawn to introduce these different cultivars, one's going to fade out and the other one's going to strive. And then you don't see these kind of swings and the ups and downs of your lawn. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely agree with it. I tell you, I don't know if any of our customers, I know we have some of our customers that'll come in and they'll pay their bills if they've paid any attention to our front lawn. I mean, comparing our front lawn to some of the neighboring properties that they have that, your general rough stalk, tall fescue, and what have you. We redid our whole entire front yard last year with that specific cultivar grass, and it's glowing. Yes, we water and we do the things necessary to keep it looking good, but we run our program on it. So the program works in unison with what we want it to do if it has the favorable cultural practices, the mowing, the watering, and all that stuff. But get a little long-winded on that, but basically those cultivars of grass, they do a really good job of performing. So the aeration and overseeding is very, very important this season. I can't stress that enough.
So before we get off here, top of mind, imagine I'm in an elevator with you. You got to pitch aeration to me. You got 30 seconds. Give me your 5 reasons why aerate this year versus any other.
Aerating this year, your lawn's gone under so many different stresses. It's you want to set yourself up for success for next season. We don't know exactly what Mother Nature is going to throw at us, so we want to make sure that we're putting our best foot forward to do the things necessary to get the yard to perform the way we want it to going into the next season.
Right on. Well, there you have it, folks. If we didn't say it enough, aerate this year, overseed this year, give your lawn the best opportunity to recover from the swings and weather patterns that we've seen started in August of 2024. We're still seeing them today, August of 2025. We don't know what Mother Nature has in front of us for the next 2 months, but if you want your lawn to get back to where it was, if you want the disease pressure, the weed pressure to decline into next year, aerate and overseed is the single best thing that you can possibly do this year. And we recognize that, and we want our homeowners to be able to enjoy their lawn. And ultimately, what I like to say is we want your lawn to look as good as you. And we want to make it affordable, and we want to be able to do that. So company-wide, new customer, old customer, we're offering a 20% off the aeration overseeding. It's quite the discount. We just want to make it's so important to us. It kind of makes our job a little bit easier if we're able to do this extra service. Again, it's just going to help your yard recover and get it back to that glowing state that probably it was in early 2024. So reach out to us. Again, I'm Andrew. That's Tommy. And we're here to help, and we're excited about this fall season. Thanks, Tommy.
Yep. Thank you.
All right, we'll see you.